today we're going to be doing another Mardi Gras wreath, and we're going to do something a little different today. I thought this would be really fun. I've been thinking about trying this lately. I actually got the idea from a question that somebody asked me, and so we're going to try it out today and see how it works out. Alright, so I'm going to pin down and we'll get started. So someone was asking me about doing the Pouf Ruffle method, and I was like, there isn't a Pouf Ruffle method. But then it got me to thinking, well, actually it probably would work fine, so I thought I would try it out. So this is the mesh that I used for the last Mardi Gras wreath that I did. So we're going to use that, and we're going to use some purple and some green. So I'm going to be using a 15-inch, and this is a pencil work wreath. So the only difference between the pencil and the regular work wreath is the size of the ties. So see, these are very thin, pencil thin. But what we're going to do is we're going to take this mesh. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut 15-inch strips. So I'm going to open these up. Okay. And I don't have a ton of this one, so I'll use this until I run out, and then I'll just use the others. Alright, so I like to roll them out together when I'm doing something like this. Okay. And what I'll do, this, and just got a mess over here. This is the mask we're going to be using. Isn't that cute? Okay, so I have a table that is slightly lower than the table that I work on, and I really like to do that because it makes it easier to roll out my mesh. So what I like to do is roll them all out together and cut them together because it really saves a lot of time. So I just match up the edges, and we're going to cut this every 15 inches. So, and I often like to get a fresh edge, especially if I'm doing several together, because then I can make sure that all of them are using the same edge. So I'm just going to cut. Okay, so this is going to be 3 separate pieces, and this is going to be very similar to the curl poof method, but we're going to do ruffles instead of curls. So I thought it'd be fun to try. So I'm going to cut this out. Same thing, 15 inches. The reason I'm doing 15 is because I want the ruffle to be a decent size, and I want there to be enough to make a good poof. So I'm going to cut a whole bunch of these, and then when I come back, what we'll do is we will start putting them on our wreath. Now, I'm not sure how many rows I'm going to have to put on because this is new. I haven't done this before, not specifically just like this. So we're just going to figure that out as we go along. And sometimes that's what you do when you're making wreaths, and that's okay. So I'm going to cut that up. I'm also going to cut up some ribbon. Now, I'm only going to put the ribbon, isn't that pretty? I'm only going to put the ribbon on the outside, because on the inside we're going to put a bow, and we're going to put this and some other items that we have, and there's really no need in wasting ribbon if you're going to be doing something like that. So I will cut up ribbon, I'm going to cut them at 14 inches. And what I'm going to do is use my little tool I made. This is just a 7-inch piece of cardboard. And what I do is I take my ribbon and I just go around it like this. And then when I come back up to the top, if I cut it off up here, like this, then I can slip my scissors in through there, and that quickly I made 2 ribbon streamers that are 14 inches. So I like to use this a lot. It just really saves time, and I tell you, I put a little notch at the top because what you can do is put it on and then just start rolling like this. So that way it just goes a little bit faster and you don't lose track of where the top is because you have it notched. So I am going to go and make some ribbon streamers and cut some of this. So we're going to be using this ribbon, this one. I love this one. This is just a gold, purple, and green. And I have one that looks like this, one that looks like this. I'm going to cut this stuff. I'm not going to cut a lot. I'm just going to cut enough. I'm going to cut 20 ribbons in total because I want to do all of the bottom, and that's 10. There are 10 ties on the bottom. So I'm going to cut, let's see, how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, yeah, there's enough. So I will cut just a couple of each one, and then when I come back, we're going to start putting it together, and we're going to make a bow. We're going to put this on. Alright, so I'll be back shortly. Okay, before I go on, I wanted to come back and show you this. I forgot I had a little bit of this gold left, so I am actually going to try and do 4 colors. This is either going to be brilliant or it's going to be a total fail. So we're going to hope for brilliant, or at least really good. It should be fine, because if nothing else, I could always do the poof curl method, but I thought it would be a lot of fun to have, because these are all the colors for Mardi Gras, so I thought it would be fun to have some gold in it too. So I had this left over from a New Year's wreath, and this is one of those wreaths that is great for using leftovers because you're just going to use a portion of a roll and not the whole roll. So I'm going to cut this at 15 inches as well, and then when I come back, we're going to start putting it together. Okay, so I have a whole bunch cut, so we're going to give this a try. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to take my wreath form and I'm going to open up my ties down here because I don't want to have to try to open them while I'm making this, because I'm going to have to make this a little bit different than I normally do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my mesh and I want to flatten it out as much as I can, like this. I want to take about 5 inches on this side and push it up just like I'm doing a ruffle, like that. I'm going to put it down in my wreath base, and this is what I'm doing differently. Then I'm going to go to the other side and do the 5 inches over here, because what I'm essentially doing is I am having my wreath form hold my mesh for me. Okay, and then I'm going to put this down, and that looks like, that's so cute, that looks like a little Tootsie Roll. Hi Della. Okay, so what I'm going to do is very similar to the way that I do the poof curl, except we're going to do a ruffle. So I'm just going to do the same thing. Come over about 5 inches. And I started with this side. I don't think it really matters what side you start with. But since I started with this side, I'm going to go on to the next rung and put this down. And then I'm going to go over to this side and I'm going to make the ruffle on this side. I think it probably would be better if you did the side that you're going back into. Now that oh no, that's fine. I just needed to move it. Okay, so I have my ruffle over here. So I'm going to open my tie back up. I'm going to put this ruffle down. I'm going to tie it off. Now here's where I'm going to do something different. I'm going to pull this ruffle up and I'm going to pull this ruffle down. So that way you can see it and it looks like a ruffle that you've done this way. Now this is the interesting part. Since I've done 2 different colors, it's 2 different ruffles. Now I think if you did all one color, you'd get a completely different look. Alright, so I'm going to try starting on this side first. So I'm just going to go up through here, like that, get my little ruffle. I'm going to open this tie back up, put this ruffle down, tie it off, and I'm going to go to this side and do this ruffle. Like that, and put it down. Then once I get that down, then I'll pull this ruffle up and this ruffle down. See, now it's making a poof, no problem. So you can see my poofs look fine. So you can kind of go in and just make sure your poofs are stretched out. Now I did 15 inches, so that makes a pretty decent poof. So looks like candy canes. Alright, so we're going to go on to the next one. So I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to roll it up about 5 inches, like that. Go in my tie. Put it down, tie it off, and then pull this one up, this one down, and then do this side. I know it looks a little bit complicated, but it really isn't. I mean, you just kind of have to pull it a little bit so that you can get it on the table and do your ruffle, but having it hold it, I think is just an easier method. But if you're nervous about that, you could use a chip clip, or you could even use the Bodabra to hold it. Okay, so I've gotten all 4 colors in, so I'm going to start over with this color. I'm going to do the same thing. Just go in here, make my little ruffle. I'm going to come back on top of this one. And this is just like putting down when you do the poof curl. The only difference is, you know, you're doing a ruffle. You pull this one up. And when you get you situated, you can pull that one down. Okay. So I'm going to do this side. That. Put it down. And then I can pull this one down and pull this one up. That's kind of cool. Okay, so we'll keep going on. Okay. So got that. Open it up. Put it down. And tie it off one good time. Of course, I'm only tying it off one good time because we're we're going to come back in with ribbons. So, do this side. Alright, pull that out. Then I'm going to pull this up. So what I'm essentially doing is making the ruffle. So when you're putting a ruffle in, you have a choice of going this way or this way. So because there's a poof here, the best way to do it here is to pull it up. So up and down. And you can kind of curl your ends in a little bit to keep those rough edges in. Alright. Let's go on to the next one. There we go. So put it down. Pull this one up. Just kind of get it out of the way. There we go. Pull that one down. All right. There we go. I got this pulled up and down. All right. So I'm going to do the last couple. Let's see if I do. And then we'll start working on the top. So, you know, really, if you're good at doing ruffles, you could do both at the same time. But I wanted to show you doing them separately because I think that it's going to be difficult for people to do that. So, makes it a little bit more challenging, I think, if you try to do both at one time, because you're going to have to kind of hold it together while you're putting it on. So, it can be done. You see? But it is a little bit more challenging. But if you're wondering if you can do them both at the same time, the answer to that is yes, you can. Okay. So I'm back to the gold, and I really don't want to do the gold against the gold, so I'm going to do a green. Alright. Now when I do the poof curl, I always do 2 layers on the top. I really don't think we're going to have to do that with this one because the ruffles are going up and down and they really are filling in that area. However, you know, I think it depends on what kind of mesh you're using. So if you're using thin mesh, expect that you may have to do that. So, okay. So I'm going to pull this up, pull this down. Make sure I have all this pulled out. There we go. Alright. Now I'm going to do a purple. And then we'll move on to the top. I think this is going to be interesting. Hi, Sassy. Okay. Come on. Come on. Call me cutie. This is Sassy. This is my other baby. Huh. Okay. She doesn't come in here much. Sometimes. Okay, so this is the last one on the bottom. So, Now I can pull this one up. That one's already down. Pull this one up and pull this one down. All right, so that's what it looks like. Let me pull this up a little bit. Okay, so that's what it looks like with the first layer on it. I think that's kind of cool. All right, so let's try the second layer. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is same thing. I'm just gonna, now on this second layer, I think it's gonna be difficult to do the ruffle on the actual surface. So what you can do is put your hands together and just kind of gather it like this. Like that. That'll work just the same. Okay, open this up. This is definitely a little bit more challenging, but I think that's okay too. Sometimes it's fun to do something a little different. Okay. So let's see. Do I have chocolate? Oh, I do. Okay, for this one, let's try it with a chip clip. So I got my chip clip. I'm going to put my mesh out, do my little ruffle right here. Take this, stick my chip clip on it, go over to the other side and do that one. And this might be a better way to do it when you're doing the top layer, because it's harder to have the benefit of the table. So, okay, I'm gonna put this first side down, undo my chip clip, and put my second one down. Okay, so we're gonna have to do the same thing. You want to pull it out and pull this down. So we're definitely not going to need 3 layers or 2 layers on the top, because see, if you see, it really does cover that pretty well, I think. Okay, so we'll see, we'll keep going and then we'll see how it looks. Alright, so I'm not going to make you watch me do the entire top layer, but I want to show you this one more time. So pull it up like this, get yourself a chip clip, or you can use a pipe cleaner, anything that will hold it, and then do the other side. Now, I can tell you, I've never done it this way before, but that doesn't mean that this method doesn't already exist out there somewhere. The truth is that there's only so many ways that you can do these things, and we all stumble upon the same things at some point or another. So, I don't think I am the creator of this. I think that this is just how I'm figuring out how to do it, and someone else may have another way of doing it, and hey, theirs might be better, and that's okay. But the most fun part, I think, about making wreaths and being in the wreathing community is that we all do things a little bit differently, and I think that's great, because you know, what works for me may not work for you. So I think it's important that you watch a lot of different people so that you can figure out what works for you. Alright, so I'm going to keep going on the top and then I'll be back. Alright, I got the top on. So, let me lift this up a little bit. Boy, that is full, isn't it? I kind of like this. So, definitely no need for a second layer on the top. Now this makes a super full wreath. But I like it. It is just like everywhere. I think this is perfect for, I think it's perfect for doing a Mardi Gras. So it's just something a little different. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the ribbons that I cut and I'm going to put two together. I'm going to fold them over, find the center, pinch it. I'm going to go to the bottom, open up my tie. I'm going to put this down. I'm going to tie it back 3 times. And then, like I did, let me put this over here so you can see. So like I did with my other one, I am going to pull these down like this. So the reason I'm doing that is because I have all kinds of ruffles and things going on, and you're never going to see that if I try pushing it up, because I've got my ruffles going up and down. There's no way you'd see it. So I'm just going to go straight down with it. I'm just going to alternate my ribbons. Okay. I love that. Open my tie up. One, two, three, tie it back down. Pull them both around to the bottom. And then pull it out. Like that. Isn't that cute? Oh, I love these colors. Okay. So I'll just keep going, alternating my ribbons. And I'm only going to do this on the bottom. So I'm going to do each tie on the bottom. And since we pulled our ruffles up and down, this down ruffle actually is the perfect little resting place for the ribbon. So there we go. So we just pull it down and fluff it up like that. Just keep going around. Ooh, let's do this one together. So with this ruffle right, or I mean with this ribbon right here, see, it's almost, it's just kind of like little ribbon, little tiny bits. So I did not do the little scalloped edge on it because I just didn't think it would look right. So I left that one just straight. I'm doing the 3 ties to make sure it's in there good. And then pulling my ribbon down and fluffing it up. Okay. Alright, well I just have a few left to put on. So, and then what we can do, whoops, is we can start working on decorations. So I'm going to go and put the rest of these on. And then I'll come back. We're going to do a bow, and then we're going to put that on, and we're going to put the mask on, and then put all the fun decorations we got. So I'll be back in just a few minutes. Okay, so now that we've gotten all the ribbon on the bottom, see that? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a bow for the top. So I'm going to move this aside. I am going to be doing a bow on the Pro Bow. So the Pro Bow comes with this, and this is made to hold your ribbon. So I'm going to put this, I'm going to put my ribbon in this. Let me see if I can. All right, so this is, a lot of it is about the wire. So I'm going to take the 26 gauge wire. I'm going to cut it about 30 inches. Okay. I'm going to take another one and cut it about maybe 28. Okay. Now, I know this is what gets confusing about the Provo. So, the important thing to know is that this longer wire here, okay, so the longer wire is going to go first. And the purpose of this longer wire is that it is going to essentially hold all of the bow together. So you want to take your first ribbon that you're planning to use, and I want to use, this is my 1.5 inch. I am going to put my ribbon all the way out to the end of the board. I have my pegs, or my fingers, set on D. And so right where my ribbon would be on this main finger, I'll take my wire and I will tie it onto that. So what you're doing is you're tying it on the very first piece of ribbon. Okay? You don't want to start down here at the bottom because it doesn't give you enough room to work with. So you take your top wire and you wrap it around the top of this peg. You take your bottom wire, you wrap it around the little nail that's at the bottom, and you just move it out of the way. Okay. So what happens is when you finish with all of this ribbon, when you take this wire back off, it's going to go around all of these loops together. So the purpose of this one is you have to have this one. There's no choice about having this wire because this is what holds your bow together. Alright, so this is the top of your bow. So I'll take my ribbon and I'll go around this first little finger. Now this is the little middle finger. You don't have to use that. Not everybody uses that. Then you're going to take your second wire and you're going to go behind this first wire here. This first ribbon here. And what you're doing is tying this ribbon, this loop. You're tying this loop together. And all you have to do is go up one and down one. Okay, and what that does is it holds your ribbon in place so that it can essentially be hands-free. So if you need to walk out of the room and do something, you can do it. It's not going to be a problem. Alright, so now I'm going to twist my ribbon just like I would do any other time. I'm going to go back around. I'm going to go around the second finger, come back to the center, twist it. I've got my thumb on it. Come back around, go to the next one, come back around, pinch it, and twist it. Okay? And you know, the reason that you're doing the pinch and the twist is because that's how you get the pretty side back up. So if you didn't twist it, if you went off to the side to go to another one, you would be going on the not pretty side. So it wouldn't look that great. Alright, so I have done 3 loops with this one. That's all I want to do with this one. So I'll take my second wire and I'll go up and down. See, and all that does is hold this in place. So now I can cut my tail off. Now I'm done with this one. So I can just put it away. Okay? So now I'm going to go on and I'm going to just let these hang out here. I'm going to go on to my second one. I'm going to do the same process. So go out where I want it. I'm going to go up and down with that wire, and then it holds it in place. I'm going to go around the first finger, come back, pinch it, twist it, get that pretty side up, and then go around the second one. Now I'm only going to do one loop with this one because I have several ribbons that I want to add on. So I'll pinch and twist, take this wire again, go up, go down. See, and all it does is hold that in place. I'm going to cut that off, and I'm done with that one. So now we have 5 loops on there. So we're going to go to our next ribbon. This is going to be our next one. And this is, if you haven't made this before, this is a terry bow. Just means that it has 4 or 5 ribbons. This was invented by Terry of Mill and Dill. And it is one of my very favorites to make. Okay. So I got my wire going up and down. So I'm just going to take it, go around my first finger, come back to the center, pinch, twist, get that pretty side out, go around the next finger, come back, pinch, twist, and then put it out of the way. Then I'll take my one that's going up and put it down, and the one that's going down and put it up. Cut that tail off. Done with that one. Ooh, now we're going to do this one. This is fun. I like this one. Okay. So I'm going to go out, tie it on. Okay. I'm going to go around this finger, come back, pinch, twist, go around my next one, come back, pinch, twist, and then I can go up and down. See, and all that's doing is holding that ribbon on there. Okay? So now I have 1 ribbon left to do, and that's this one. So I'm going to do 2 loops with this one because it's going to be my last one. So I'll go up and down, get it on there good. And then I will go around my first finger. Let's make sure that's good. Okay, this one's very stiff. It's very stiff ribbon, but it's really pretty. So I'll pinch it, twist it. So you can hear it, it's almost like paper. It's very stiff. Okay. Go around my next one. Pinch it, twist it. Go around this finger. Okay. Come back to the center. Pinch it. Twist it. Go around this last finger. Come back to the center. Pinch it. Twist it. Then take that one that's up, up, and one that's down, down. And then cut that off. Now I don't need this anymore, so I can just move it out of the way. Alright, now, this is the important thing. So you have this first wire that you did, and you have it tied down here. So you want to unloop it. Now, do you see how this is at the beginning of all of this ribbon? So see, that is why you need this. It is the most important wire. So you take it out from the bottom, undo it from there. And what I like to do is the ones that I used to go up and down, I like to take them and put them with my other wire and just twist it one good time before I take it off. Just want to make sure it's not going to come loose while I'm trying to take it off. So you can just stick your finger under here, your hand under here, I mean, and just pop it up. Okay? Okay, so I don't need this anymore. I'm going to put that away. And then I'm going to bring out my fluff box. So this box, I camera a little bit, okay. So this box is just a very heavy wooden box. It has an eye hook in it and it has a nail on it. So what I do is I take my bow and I will make sure that I don't have any slack in between my bow and these wires, and I will twist that, make sure it's real tight. I don't want this to come loose. Alright, then I'll take this wire, I'll go around the eye hook and then twist it around this nail. And all that does is allow me to move the bow around. And it's real heavy, so the bow's not going to move unless you move it. Okay, so the first thing I like to do is trim my little edges. I like to fold it over, cut at an angle. I'm not going to do this one because I just don't know. With the kind of ribbon it is, I think it's better just to leave it like it is. So I just go through and cut this little detail. This is just a personal preference. It's just kind of makes it, give it a finished look. It's not required. And all you're doing is folding it over in half and cut away from yourself at an angle. Like this. Okay. So once we get this cut, then we will fluff out our bow, and then we'll put it on our wreath, and then we'll start putting fun stuff on it. Alright, so I've got all that cut. Okay, so now what I'll do is I will just start pulling my bows apart. So I want them to be at opposite sides. Okay? Isn't that fun in there? That little, I like that. Okay, so, like that. And then I will move some of my tails around. Now a lot of the tails I will fix when I get it on the wreath. I think it's just easier to do that when I get on the wreath. But the bow part, I like to do when I'm on this form. And then I just stick my hand in there and fluff my fingers out. Get them all fluffed out. There we go. Okay, then I'm going to take it off. So you just unscrew it, pull it out. Okay. Then I put this away. Alright. Now, I will bring this wreath back, and I will figure out where I want to put the bow. So, let's see. Let's put it, I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's pretty much all the same, but I think I want to put it up here. So, I will take my two wires, and I will pull them apart like that. And I will go around the base. So I'm just moving this around, and I'm going to tie it down to the base because I don't want it to come loose. So I'm just tying it right onto the frame. So once I get that tied in well, okay, then what I will do is I will start moving some of the tails around so that I can get, so they're not all bunched up together. Okay, like this. All right, And then I will kind of refluff my bow, make sure it's all separated out, because it will get a little bit messed up after you take it off of the box. It's okay, you can just kind of fluff it back out again. Okay. You don't have to separate it again, you really just kind of have to refluff. Alright, so there's the bow on it. Okay. So, I like that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to place the mask. So I wanted to put the bow at top. I want to put the mask at the bottom. So I'm just going to put it in between two ties. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to see. I want to see if this will fit on there. I think it will. Yes. Okay. So this is a zip cable tie adhesive mount, and I learned this trick from Julie at Southern Charm Wreaths. I thought it was a pretty brilliant trick. So it has adhesive on it. You just take it off and you just plop it on whatever you're going to tie down. Because this is a mask, I don't want to poke a hole in it or damage it. So I'd rather use these ties. So I'm just going to put one on each side. Okay, like this. And you can put pipe cleaners right through it. You can also put wire, but I'm just going to do a pipe cleaner. So it has these little like holes, and so I will bring it up here and tie it just to make sure I'm not going to be pulling on that. Yeah, it's on there good. Let's see, where's my other. Okay. Alright. Since it's in the back, I don't really care what color's in here. Okay. So you can get these at Amazon. Alright, so I'm going to intentionally go to where there is a tie. Okay, and I'm going to tie this pipe cleaner onto this tie. So I'm just going to, so let's see if you can see what I'm doing here. So I'm just tying it on. I'm going to really tie it tight. So I only used half of a pipe cleaner because I don't really need a whole one, because this mask fits perfectly in between two ties. Alright, so I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm just going to tie it around this tie. This is the cutest mask. I love purple. This is such a, these are such fun wreaths to do because they're purple and gold and green and just fun. My sister lives in Pensacola and it is a big thing there, so I've always wanted to do that. I think it would be fun to go and see what those are like, to see what it's like at the Mardi Gras. Okay, so once I get this all tied in, then what I'll do is I'll do the shake test. So I like to do this just to make sure it's not going to come loose. It's not. It's on there. It's good. Alright. I like that. That's cute with the little... It's not going to come loose. Okay. So now that I've gotten those on there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start... We're going to start decorating. So... we've got all kinds of fun stuff. I love to use these. Let's see. We've got lots of fun stuff. Get it all up here. Okay, so on the top, since I'm not using ribbon, one of the things that I wanted to do is use some tubing. So I love to use some of this tubing sometimes. See if I can find the beginning. So you get these tubing, it comes with like 2, oh, this one has 3. So I'm not going to use all 3. I probably won't even use most of one. So I'll just put it right back in my bag. And you can get these at Craft Outlet, and you can get them at Trendy Tree. So most of this ribbon came from Craft Outlet. This mask actually came from the party store. Alright, so I'm going to cut about a yard of this. Okay. And then I'm just going to make some big loops with it. Like 3 loops. And I'm actually just going to use it to tie it together because I don't want it to come apart while I'm putting it on the wreath. Alright, so I got this 3. Okay, so I'll just go over here and I'm just going to tie it down right in this tie. So I'll just tie it and then just kind of pull these out. I want them to be kind of loose. You know what else you can do is you can tie it and you can cut it and just have it. I'll show you what I mean. Well, let's get all 3 out and then I'll show you. Okay. So I have green. I want to do some with green. So I'll take one out. Put the other one back. And I have purple. So I have purple. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to cut the green at about a yard. If I can find the beginning. There it is. Alright. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to use this one to cut the purple. Okay. There we go. So I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm just going to make big loop. Like a big loop. Like 3 big loops. Like that. Okay. Then I'm going to put them down in a tie. There we go. Okay. So we just got some little purple coming out. Alright, so we'll do the green. So, you know, with Mardi Gras, like usually, this would just be way overkill. But with Mardi Gras, that's kind of what you want. So, the more the merrier. So, if you want to do a wreath and you really just want to load it up, Mardi Gras is the one to do. Alright, so we've got that in. Now, I wanted to show you one thing you can do with these. Is you can take a few colors together. So, let's see. like this. And what I do is just very loosely loop it around my hand like this. Like that, okay? And then take a pipe cleaner or wire. And put it around this stack, okay? And tie it off, nice and tight, okay? Then trim these off, and then what you're going to do is you're going to cut these. And you can make a cute little thing that you can put in your wreath like this. So we'll put this one up here. See, isn't that cute? So that's another thing you can do with these, because I know sometimes people wonder what you can do with them. So this is a cute little thing you can do. Alright, because you know, you see these all the time when you're getting little embellishments. So we have some of these little things. So I'll cut a few of these off. I'll just pull them off. So these all have wire in them. And so I'll just take it and I will tie it around my little ties, because they of course have wire in them too. And I'll make sure it's tied on there very tight. Okay? And then I've got something that's kind of standing out. I've got it in gold. So I'll do a gold one. And I'll do a green one. So and what I like to do when I'm doing wreaths is I like to either go in a triangle, so that's what I'm going to do with these three. So I want to form a triangle by doing either one at the bottom and two at the top, so it kind of makes like this triangle. That works really well when you're doing wreaths. Okay, so I'll close off my triangle down here. It's that rule of threes. So you either want to do that or you want to do symmetrical. So like if you have one here, you do one here. If you have one here, here, or here and here, like that. Alright, so now I want to do a little bit more kind of standing out from the side. So I have this. This is the green. I like this. I love these little things. So they come in a group like this, and you can take them apart and use them separately. It just really gives you a little bit more. And they have wire in them as well. So I just take this and I'll take this wire here and I will tie it around my tie, and then I'll tie the tie around it just to make sure it's on there good. And then you can pull this out like that. See, isn't that fun? I like that. So we want to do one over here because we did one over there. So I have purple like that. So I'll use one of the purple. I think I already have one cut. Yes, I do. Okay. So I want to go over here, and I will just go right here, and I will tie it around this tie. Make sure it's on there securely. And then I will tie this around that. That just kind of makes sure it's not gonna. And then I'll pull it out. So, that's fun. Okay. This is just wild and crazy, isn't it? Alright, so now I have this. I love this. So I'm going to take this, and this comes in a small group. So I'm going to take this, and I want to have just a little bit coming out from up top. So I'm going to kind of go underneath the bow. This is wired as well, and I'm going to tie it around this tie and then tie it in well. Okay, so I've got that one. So I want to do one on this side. So that's the great thing when you get things like this, you know, there's a lot on them. You can take them apart and use them on several projects. And that really helps conserve money, and it really is just a great thing to do. So I'm going to stick this one over here and tie it around this side. Okay. There we go. Woo! Alright. So I think we're almost done. I just want to put a couple little beads, because the beads are always fun. And the thing I like about the beads is you can have them hanging down. I just think that's fun. So I want to get one green, one gold, one purple. Okay. So I've got 3, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim it, cut it. Just cut the string. Like that. And I am going to string it in the front. Let's see. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to string it. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to string it over here. But I want to take, I'm looking for my wire. Okay. So I'm going to take a little bit of wire. Just a small piece. And I'm going to take these 3, put them together, and then I'm just going to tie this wire around it so I can use this wire to tie it to the wreath. So I want to make sure that it's not going to come off. And these don't really have any wire in them, so I'll just tie it up here around my tie. And then I can trim off the excess. And bend that over. Alright. So I'm going to kind of loop them underneath the mask. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm just going to take a little wire. Not a very big piece, just a small piece. Okay. I'm going to put the 3 together. And tie the wire around it. And I'm going to tie it over here. And then when I lift it up, those will hang down. That's just fun. I just like these. These are just fun. Okay. Alright. Okay, I think we're done. I think we have lots of fun stuff on here. Oh, a few other things that you can do is you can get these little hats. I got these from the Dollar Tree, and these look really cute on here. You can even put them in like a grouping. So like, see, there's all three colors. You can put them in like a grouping. I think that would be adorable. You can do these. These are really cute. I like to put these in. And they're really cute to just kind of finish off. Like these areas. Just to kind of cover where some of the ties are. Like that. I love to use little ornaments like this. So you can get some really great ornaments that have the different colors in them. The purple, the green, and those are great too. Alright, so I am going to see if we can lift this up and see what it looks like. Alright. There it is. Let's see. Let me come back a little bit and see if you can see it. Alright, I think we did it. So I hope you enjoyed this. And it gives you some ideas. It's a little something new to try. So, and you know what's great about this thing is these are bendable. Isn't that cute? Okay, well I will, I'll be back soon. I have some more Valentines. Well, I think I'm going to do one more Valentine's. And we're going to be doing some St. Patrick's Day. I don't know if we'll do another Mardi Gras. We'll see. And I have a lot of fun spring ones planned. So we're going to have fun doing those. Alright, well I will see y'all soon. Make sure to like and subscribe. And let me know if there's something specific that you want to see. And otherwise, I will see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.